From rising to world fame and recognition at the mere age of 20 to throwing shade on the hit Netflix show Wednesday that catapulted her into the spotlight, Jenna Ortega was blasted for being entitled and toxic by producer DeKnight. Yes, the Spartacus showrunner accused the Wednesday star of publicly blasting the writers. Damn, Wednesday might have spilled the tea about her horrible time working with the show's writers, but not without it leading to drastic consequences. Netflix's The Addams Family spinoff, Wednesday, was a huge success, but its main star Ortega has always been vocal about her dislike for the script, to the point she was labeled entitled and beyond toxic by veteran Hollywood producer DeKnight. The condemnation came after the You series actor called out the show's writers on Dax Shepard's podcast Armchair Expert on March 6th. DeKnight wasn't too happy about this, and he unleashed on the 20-year-old in a series of tweets calling out her statement. While the Buffy writer loved her work, he believed that life was too short to deal with troublesome people like her in the business. He had never directly worked with Ortega, but he was against her criticizing the team. He tweeted that he loves talking with actors about their lines and stories. Sometimes the stars don't have the full picture of where the story is headed, and that's why some lines are needed for the whole thing to make sense. The filmmaker criticized Jenna for not being aware of how things work and partly blamed her young age for her questionable actions. In the Twitter thread, he said that just because she's young, that's no excuse for publicly humiliating Tim Burton's show. I'm sure you're thinking it couldn't get worse than this, but it did. The Smallville director called the actress's behavior extremely unprofessional. The TV producer was not a fan of Wednesday's titular character. He strongly believes that actors should air their concerns behind the scenes and not trash the writing in a public interview. The Daredevil producer declared it was not very ethical to throw your collaborators under the bus and blasted Jenna for making the writers' lives hell with her constant meddling. Steven said that he had dealt with actors before who had pulled some outrageous stuff that had curled his toes, but he had never named them or discussed it in public. So he believes Jenna shouldn't have talked smack about the showrunners publicly and called out her beyond toxic and diva-like attitude, saying it was beyond intolerable. What if the tables were turned? Ortega should have thought about how it'd have made her feel if roles were reversed and the showrunners exposed how difficult it was to deal with her. And the fact that she refused to perform according to the material. At this point, you might be wondering, what exactly did Jenna say that frustrated DeKnight so much? The actress said she had to put her foot down with Netflix showrunners for their character choices. She admitted to being unprofessional since the writing was so flawed. She had to change lines since they did not make any sense. The 20-year-old had always criticized the directors and producing team of the show. In a recent interview, the Scream 6 actress revealed that she was unhappy with the writer's work, saying nothing about the character Wednesday made sense to her, and she had to change lines to protect it. In her podcast with Dax Shepard, she said that when she read the entire series, she realized it's for much younger audiences. The Jane the Virgin actor had assumed that the story was going to be much darker, but it wasn't. She wasn't impressed by the storyline at all, especially Wednesday being in a love triangle, which made no sense to her. The Golden Globe-nominated actress said there was a line about a dress she had to wear for a school dance in which she says, "Oh my god, I love it. Ugh, I can't believe I said that. I literally hate myself." Jenna had to put her foot down on this one, among several other instances. Even when they were shooting, she would change the lines without warning anyone. The script supervisor thought she was going with what they'd planned, and then she had to sit down with the writers, who inquired about what happened to the scene, and she had to explain why she couldn't do certain things. The reason Ortega changed the script was because she was worried it was boring and wouldn't resonate with the viewers. She wanted to give Wednesday an emotional arc, make her more likable and less mean and broody. This was only the beginning of the multiple complaints the actress has about her time on the show. In fact, it got so bad that filming Wednesday took a toll on Jenna's mental health. The star revealed previously that filming the show affected her negatively. The hectic schedule caused her to cry hysterically at times. She wasn't satisfied most of the time with her performance, saying there was not a single scene during production where she went home and felt that it was fine. Previously, she had criticized the show's team, saying in October 2022 that one of the directors, Tim Burton, did not want her to have any expression or emotion at all. She also bashed the decision to have multiple directors, saying that multiple cooks spoil the broth, and she felt completely lost and confused. Her faltering confidence in the series was proven wrong as it became the second largest English-language show of all time. Even the constructive criticism didn't deter the show's producers from working with Jenna again and making her an executive producer for the second season. When it comes to her publicly humiliating the writers, let's just admit that we all make mistakes. Maybe Jenna also made one. Despite publicly bashing Jenna, Stephen DeKnight must have realized he was being a bit too harsh, because he tweeted a semi-apology to the Wednesday Star, saying he cannot stress what an amazing talent she is. It was an unfortunate situation to publicly disclose creative differences. He also admitted that the writers were on edge because of the impending strike, including himself, adding that the star is fantastic and that this was an unfortunate gaffe to speak out so publicly. It was probably a learning experience for everyone, including himself. Jenna has still not responded to the tweets. But fans are not happy about Steven's comments at all. They slammed him over his tweets against Jenna. Her well-wishers flocked to her support on Twitter, attacking Steven while he was responding aggressively. Fans are saying Steven should have been more mindful of Ortega's thoughts for changing the scripts because the very same script made her into the star she is today. Others urged him to conduct himself more professionally rather than demeaning an aspiring actress who shows so much promise. A user tweeted that Jenna had been acting since she was a kid and DeKnight needs to stop gaslighting her. The only ones who should be questioned are the show's writers, who were making cringe material. Another user bashed him, saying that the writers were mad that Jenna did a better job of playing a character and changing lines to make it work. One person said he disagreed with Steven since Ortega's critiques of the writing seemed valid because she called out the love triangles and made the script and show better because she had better understanding of her character. Wednesday fans have continually expressed their relief at Ortega changing the script, and they firmly believe that she was the only person on set who truly understood the character. That's why it made no sense to them when DeKnight lashed out at her on Twitter. That's a wrap on Jenna Ortega blasted for being entitled and toxic by producer Stephen DeKnight.